Greetings, fellow travelers and viewers. Welcome to your reading. We're doing things a little differently today because I got a new deck and I'm really excited about it. And it's an animated deck, so these cards are actually animated, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But first, what we did is we added 3 crystals. These are 3 different calcite crystals. We have green calcite, blue calcite, and orange calcite. And you can choose your reading based on how you resonate with the crystals first, and then perhaps the card underneath will confirm or perhaps change your opinion about which reading you want to see. Feel free to watch one or all the readings because the choice to explore is always up to you. Okay, let's take a look at the crystals real quick. So here we have the green calcite. It's kind of the most pale of the colors here, but you can see the green. That's what the crystal looks like. All right, here we have the blue calcite. It's way more distinct, definitely blue. And orange calcite. Oh, I'm moving these cards a little bit. Orange calcite, which is, in my opinion, the rock that looks the tastiest out of all the crystals. This one looks like you could eat it. Look at that. Looks like almost like an orange slice or something. All right. So, great. So now that we've looked at the crystals, I'll let you have a moment to choose based on how you resonate with the crystals. Okay, and now let's reveal one of each or 3 of the 6 cards. The other 3 cards will remain hidden until the end of each reading, and they will provide some clarity or perhaps additional information for the rest of the readings, but they will be revealed at the very end of each reading. Okay, so I'm really excited to show these cards. For pile number 1, we have the Empress. Okay, let's take a look at that. See how it's animated? These are fun. All right. The Empress for reading number 1. For reading number 2, we have the Star. You can see the water ripples. It's a beautiful, beautiful illustrations. All right. And for pile number 3, with the orange calcite, we have the Emperor. All right. So, these are the 3 readings, 3 piles. For pile number 1, we have the Empress. For pile number 2, we have the Star. And for pile number 3, we have the Emperor. I will give you a moment to let you choose based on how you resonate with the card and the crystals. Okay, so let's start with reading number 1, but before we begin, please keep in mind that these are broad readings, so if you feel a strong connection to any idea or theme during the reading, bring it along with you on your journey, and if not, let it float on by. Okay, great. Let's begin with group number 1. Hey, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the Empress and the green calcite crystal. I'll take a look at it again. It's just this card. I love the animations. You can see the animated, the leaves flowing down because we have the Empress, which is connected to nature. Beautiful. And we have the hidden card underneath and the green calcite crystal. You can take another look at it. Okay. So, let's begin. We're going to be starting in the past and moving to the future with these readings. So we will draw 3 cards to begin with. All right, this one stood out. And we'll take these 2. Okay. Great. So, in the past, what was happening in the heart? We had commitment. You were committed to something because we have the 6 of Swords. The Six of Swords, we have someone here who's rowing across the river, or it could be an ocean, although it would probably be a river here, but it could be an ocean. They're committed to their journey. They've already set sail, or they've already cast off, and they are halfway across. They're halfway across their journey. So to go back now would be the same distance as to continue on forward. In your mind, you have, well, an end of a chapter in the past, because we have the Ten of Swords. 2 swords here, a lot of swords. So there's a strong ending to an idea. Your idea is over. You're thinking about things very differently after this. Where that goes, we haven't seen yet, but this is a true end of a thought, of an idea. It's over. The idea has made it's gone all as far as it can go, and it's at the coast, and it can't move on farther. This idea is gone. It's done. It's fulfilled what it needed to, and now a new idea is going to take its place. And you, back in the past, were kind of standing still. We have the Hanged Man here. So you were kind of patiently waiting. You had committed, you had ended an idea. There was something that was like an idea of what you wanted to do was gone. And now we are just waiting for the right moment to move forward. You've committed in your heart that you got to move forward. But when you do is up to divine timing, or perhaps your intuition, your wise choice of when to let go, because the Hanged Man is not stuck. The Hanged Man is hanging and holding on by a rope that they themselves hold. They themselves hold the rope. So they're able to decide when they let go, when they drop forward and they are released. This is a very important aspect. You can even see kind of the light shining around the head of the Hanged Man. They are very, very wise in their choice of timing. So this is one of those things where you might feel a little impatient, but you know it's not the right moment. So you're not going to move forward with something, but you're committed to something else. There's some commitment to what you're doing. It could be a commitment to the self. In fact, instead of just a commitment to what you're about to do, it could be a commitment to yourself. This isn't necessarily because it's kind of two opposing forces here. We have an end of something that needs to be let go of, a moment in time that we're waiting for, but also commitment in the heart. So it's kind of interesting. Perhaps there's 2 different things happening at the same time. Perhaps there's one person or one job or one friendship or one group that you're committing to and you're letting go of another. Or perhaps there's an idea that you thought was going to work out, or perhaps a relationship that you were hoping would work out and that you realize that isn't, but you're still committed to some other friendship or yourself, or committed to working for yourself, working on lifting yourself up. There's some form of like split 2 different directions ways, one where it's over and one where we're moving forward. So like this could be like where there were 2 paths, you were kind of at a crossroads and you really had to make a choice. You hadn't really fully committed yet to the choice, but you realized it was time to commit to one choice over another. So where does that lead us? I'm curious about where the mind goes, because we have an end of a chapter in a thought. There's an end to something, some chapter ending within an idea. So what is replacing that idea? Well, uncertainty, which makes sense. When you end one chapter, the new chapter begins. What happens next is very uncertain. We have the moon, the unknowns. The unknowns in the mind. So this could be a little bit of confusion as to what to do, uncertainty as to where to move forward. This could be just a moment to remind us it's an opportunity to contemplate and reflect. You can see the figure here is looking up, the moon, the personification of the moon herself, right? But in this case, she's looking up and pondering. And that's really an important aspect to this. There's a moment where we need to wait. We need to think through what happened, and we need to think through what the next step is. If this isn't the path forward, then we need to think through what the path forward is. In your heart, you're holding on. You're still holding on to something interesting. We have commitment with the Six of Swords, and now we have kind of a holding on, a clinging feeling with the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles in the heart. I mean, sometimes I say this, at least in this deck, the card kind of represents to me being online and connected to somebody through like digital. So it could be long distance, or it could be social media, like kind of connected to social media. But in this case, it's more of a heart in the heart. So you really haven't let go of something. The Hanged Man here is still important, and you still haven't let go. So there's something about this path that you really like. You really liked this path that ended. You feel like you know it's ended, at least intellectually you know it's ended, but in your heart you can't seem to accept it. So why is that? Where do you go? Well, there's going to be some time alone. Or there was. This is in the past. You kind of this I still see like nothing's moved forward yet. We have the Hermit. Now the Hermit's also a wise card. These are two very strong cards of wisdom. In the heart, or within that inner light of wisdom, is within, that is represented by the lantern. But the light is within the Hermit. The Hermit has this inner wisdom, this inner abundance, this inner strength that comes with having meditated in solitude, had been alone, spent some time alone. You spent some time feeling pretty alone. Like, I mean, it doesn't mean you were lonely, but it does mean that you were kind of, in some ways, separated. You felt separated from the rest of the groups. You were kind of, and with this uncertainty that can really lead to that, where you're not sure who to hang out with, who to be with, who to listen to, or it could be you're not sure who to be, and that's probably why you were going through this internal isolation in some ways, this isolation from others in some ways, where you felt separate. You might have still been around people, but you kind of felt separate from them. Because you were kind of thinking through what it is, why it is you can't let go of that specific situation. This is really important because, these are times of contemplation are very important. We need those times to really understand ourselves and to get just in tune with ourselves by ourselves. This is a time of meditation. If we saw Four of Cups, that would definitely be meditation. But here it's a time where you're kind of more on social media in some ways, or you're kind of connected digitally in some ways, or you're holding on to something in your heart. I wouldn't say this is necessarily social media related. However, it could be. But it normally, if it was up here, I would say it was more social media related. This is being alone and holding on to something that you just don't want to let go of. And you're kind of thinking, what if not this, then what? Perhaps you were still committed to this thing that you intellectually knew was over. That could explain the dichotomy or the split, the two elements here. It's something that you knew, or at least intellectually you think is done, but in your heart you feel you've really committed to and you want to continue forward with. Okay, so the mind moves forward. Where does the mind go? To more traditional perspectives. Interesting. So you go from the moon to the wishing upon a star. You go to, perhaps you're kind of bargaining in here. You're kind of hoping. This could be a situation where you really are intellectually hoping that this isn't over, but it is. So like, what is going on? Can it be renewed? Can life be brought back into it? Perhaps. But for now, it seems you're still thinking about, well, what are the traditional ways about how this would work out? You're thinking about, is there any traditional route towards going back to making this work? So this could be a situation, or this idea work. I mean, it's this at this point is the end of the idea, but whatever the idea was in the past. And we could even see it. I mean, it would be something in tune with nature because you chose Empress. So it could be something connected to the heart, connected to family, connected to love. These like more emotional aspects could be what this idea was about. And we're moving that towards a traditional path. So perhaps you're thinking, or maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe if I approach this with more tradition, or if I approach this with more, Maybe it's interesting. It's like part of you doesn't want this to happen, but part of you really does. That's the kind of situation you're, because you're kind of you're trying to look at it at every angle with this. You're intellectually looking at it very, like with your smart like mind. You're trying to like analyze and pick apart each piece of the situation to see if there's some kind of way that you can approach it differently. In the heart, you're like, when's this going to end? You've been putting in a lot of effort, group number one. You've been putting in so much effort here, so much effort, and you're spending some time alone. You're really contemplating this. You're thinking about things in a more traditional way. Perhaps you're thinking about things in traditional roles too. You might be thinking, well, you fill this specific kind of role, and it might be one of traditional like traditional values, or not just values, but traditional ways of approaching relationships. And you're like, wow, I actually really fulfilled that role, but not everything. There's like something about it. It's like it's a piece of the puzzle, but it's not everything. But what you are doing is building yourself up. So what's happening here is all this time you're thinking about whatever it is, this, I want to say it's like a relationship, this connection with a relationship, or a connection with family, that doesn't seem that there's something missing. There's some idea that hadn't worked out. And you've been really working through it. I mean, this is a tough one. This is one where you're really thinking hard about it. And you're growing here. You're actually doing a lot to progress yourself. You don't realize that, but meanwhile, while the heart and the mind are like toiling, you are just growing. Look at this. We have the hangman, the wisdom. We have the hermit, the wisdom. And then we have the nine of pentacles, like that seeing progress in oneself. You might feel in your heart that like you're tired, you really want something good to happen, but what's good is that you yourself are becoming much more mature about a situation, much more in depth, like growing with it. You really are becoming stronger here. So where's this go? What happens next? Because this is you right now. A lot of progress has been made. A lot of progress. So what happens next? All right. In the mind, we move from tradition to rebirth, because we have the death card. Finally, we're seeing some real change here. This was the end of a chapter, but we weren't sure where we were going next. We tried tradition, and now we're reforming. We're truly reforming. Remember, the death card is not that scary of a card, although in this deck it kind of looks scary. You know, in a more traditional Rider-Waite-Smith style deck, you have the symbols of the sun in the background. Now, there might be a sun there in this card, but you can't really tell. It's like circle light. But here, we can see the sun clearly. The sun is coming up around the horizon. This is a new chapter, a new day's beginning. So this is rebirth, and it should say death and rebirth. It really should, because that's what this card really is about. It's about the ending and the beginning of a new cycle, and this is one of real strength. So we're going to see some really interesting stuff coming out here, which is going to let us see where we're moving forward. But this is in a transitional column as well. So this makes sure that, you know, what we are about to see is something of real rebirth, real growth, real recombining of things. Inside the light, the heart is getting lighter. This is good to see. We have something really bright happening in the future. At least it's bringing in a lighthearted nature to yourself. You're able to laugh at yourself a little bit. You're able to kind of joke around. Perhaps you're with friends. You're feeling like a little bit more playful. This is the card of, hey, there's new hope here. There's real new hope, because look, this is a new adventure. There's a new emotional perspective here. One that could come in news. There could be some news that brings in this new emotional perspective, or it could be just enough time has passed, you realize, actually, that was this is the right path for me, and you're happy about where you are. That's important. That's really important. And this is cool. Like this is, and you know, you're outside, the wind swept, you see the ocean in the background, and you have a little fish in the cup here. That's the Page of Cups here. The Page of Cups is a fun loving card, a fun-loving energy, one where you're starting to feel new, you're starting to feel refreshed here because we have renewal here. So that's really good, really good. Okay, so what happens with you? What are you doing in this moment? Well, you're proud of your situation now. Look at this. You have 9 of Cups. So emotional pride, emotional resilience. You've worked through it. And we had nine of Pentacles, the growth, the material growth of you. Like you could actually focus, you could actually see that growth in you, the strength. You're getting stronger. You're getting emotionally more stable and resilient to a situation, or stable and strong. You're really emotionally strong. And here you have pride of where you are now. You can really be happy about the situation that you've allowed yourself to find yourself in. That's great. Beautiful. So things are picking up. So this new perspective, this new idea, this new path is really a good one where you're feeling good. You're feeling good about yourself, and you can tell you have a new mindset, a real approach to how you see things is changing. So where's that go? Let's see. Choices. Now you're realizing there's choices. There's true, this is a choice you can make. You're in control of this. This is your destiny. Your choices are yours to make, and you can feel kind of free from that, like free from that feeling. You understand, hey, this is your life. You're going to be making it. This is great. Okay. And then we have healing within. Look at this. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. We have healing. Here, we'll move this up. The Page of Cups moves into the Star, one of the most healing cards in the deck, the most beautiful. You have healed from this kind of pathway being closed off to you. You now realize you're in a much better place. You're in such a great place. Where you're going is actually so much better than if you had held on to this idea for so long. You realize letting go is important. You did let go. You started making progress. You're proud of where you're going. You truly are transforming in the mind. And now you're healing within the heart. The heart is healing here, and this is coming in the end. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful card to see at the end of the reading. Awesome. Awesome. And finally, we have you. You're working on yourself. And now you really are perfecting it. Whatever it is that you're proud of, that you've found that's working the path forward, you're focused. You're focused, and you're really strongly fixated on improving and becoming the best at whatever it is that you're working towards. You can see this figure is perfecting the image of that final pentacle here. The 8 of Pentacles. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, so this is there's a lot of work being put in, and now we're seeing some real amazing times ahead. Real amazing times. This is beautiful. Reading number 1. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so we've seen all of this. This is such a great reading. What is this card underneath? What do we have here that is going to add clarity to the rest of the readings? So we'll take a look now. It's the Ace of Swords. Well, how about that? The Ace of Swords is an animated card. Look at that. That's cool. A new idea is coming. This is the rebirth thing. This is the holding on. We have the Ace of Swords comes after the Ten of Swords. Well, after the King of Swords, but it's the loop. And here we have the final chapter that you're finally letting go of now. And we have this new idea, this new perspective that's coming in, and it's allowing you to realize you're free to choose. You're free to choose your destiny here, and you're free to choose your healing path. And you're really going to be able to choose what you can perfect in yourself that you know you're proud of. All right, group number 1. This has been your reading. If you enjoyed it, please stick around. Remember, the readings can often be applied to different aspects of life. So if you want, feel free to watch reading number 2. All right. And please let us know what it is that you're letting go of and what it is that you're moving on to in the comments. We always love to hear about that. Great. Okay. Take care. Bye. Hey, reading number 2. Welcome to your reading. Or I should say pile in group number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the blue calcite crystal. This is what it looks like. And the Star card. Let's take a look at it again because I really like the animations here. You can see the water rippling and the stars are shining, twinkling. Beautiful. All right. So let's begin. We're going to be going from the left to the right, so starting in the past and moving towards the future. In these readings from now on, I might go back to the other format like I used to do, which would be at the top and moving down, or at the bottom and moving up. But I've been kind of liking this moving from left to right. It's kind of an interesting way to look at it. But let us know what you think in the comments, because I really want to hear what your thoughts are on this. If anything changes and you don't like it, or you do, let me know. Okay, let's do a little more shuffling. Cool. All right, we'll go like this. And here we go. Great. So, in the past, in the heart, the world was at your feet. You had accomplished something very big emotionally. A very big emotional accomplishment happened in the past. It was an end of an era, really. And it came with you having a very strong conviction, because we have the Knight of Swords and the world. So, the Knight of Swords being one of really strong, moving forward energy, driving forward with an idea, driving straight through with an idea, just being piercing in a way, but strong and convicted. You are very sure of yourself in the moment. So you are very assured that your idea is right, and you're moving forward with it with strength, and you're moving fast. And this was happening in the past, all with having emotionally really accomplished quite a bit. You had gone through quite a bit in the past, because we have the world. So the world is like a culmination, or it's adding all together one giant cycle, a circular cycle. You've gone a full 360. You've gone all the way around a journey. You've come to a conclusion. You changed your mind about something. It made you realize something new, and you brought it back to yourself. You realized that not only was this new thing something you wanted to be part of yourself, but you found how to make it part of yourself. And that was all emotional, with a very strong mind, a very strong, sure of yourself mind, very sure of yourself. And this was in the past. And this had something to do with relationships, and in some ways fate, because we have the Three of Cups. But the Three of Cups in this realm is oftentimes just how the relationships worked out. There was a meeting of a group of people. You were with a group of people, and you made a strong decision about the situation, one where you really did move forward quickly. And what's interesting is it's a theme of healing, because you chose the Star. So whatever this was could have been potentially painful. You realized that this was a very big moment in your life, and you took charge of it in your mind. You really were sure that it was time to move quickly and decisively. So you made decisions quickly, very quickly. And this came with you having had a lot of experiences in your life that made you move in a multitude of emotional ways, like a lot of different ways, a lot of different emotions. You went through quite a bit here. Okay. So where did that lead us? Where does that lead us? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Actually, I think it was this card. I want to see what this card is. Okay. So there was a separation. We had the heart of the Three of Hearts, or Three of Swords, sorry. Three of Swords just really wanted to show itself, but was not part of this reading. But there was a separation here that was decided upon quickly. Okay. Interesting. So in the heart, what moved forward was a confidence. You knew that the actions you were taking were ones that you needed to. You were nurturing your self-awareness of the situations that you had seen, and you were nurturing the realizations of what could have been done differently, what could have been done better. These were things that you were doing in your heart, in your soul, really. The feelings within you were ones of really nurturing nurturing the decisions you should have made in the previous situation, but also nurturing yourself in a way where you were kind of healing your wounds or licking your wounds. There was motion in the mind, a very active mind. You were thinking through a lot. This is one of those times where, you were making the right decisions, you were making the right you were taking a perspective or a point of view on the situation that was very maturely analyzing it, taking into account what it was that happened, which parts of it did you do right, which parts of it could you have done differently, and you were kind of thinking through all of this. But we have the Eight of Wands in the mind after the Knight of Swords. So there's a very strong movement orientation. You're rapidly thinking about things very fast. A lot of quick thoughts. You can't stop thinking. It's kind of maybe even obsessive in some ways because this is in the mind. You also might have been talking a mile a minute with someone, like just telling somebody all sorts of things, telling them everything that happened. You might have been in a situation where, you just needed a friend to talk to, someone who was not part of the situation, and you could just say, oh, this is like, what do you think was happening here? What do you think they were thinking? Or what do you think they meant by what they said here? You were talking to someone very quickly because we have a lot of communication up here, very fast communication, movement too. So you might have gone somewhere differently in order to have this conversation. You might have met up with somebody a little far away, or like perhaps you're meeting kind of in the middle of two places and you're just chatting about like everything that was happening. And it was like, wow, there's so much going on with this situation that it really was one where you needed a second opinion. And so you had, perhaps this person you were talking to gave you some advice on what to do about the situation because a new mode of action was proposed to you. You have the Page of Wands. Excuse me. You have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is one of new action that's learned. You're kind of an apprentice to an action to take place. You're surveying the land and you're seeing where to go with this. A motion, a true motion with this. There's something about where to take what happens next. And you might really have gotten some advice. Oh, the light went out. Oh, one moment. Sorry about that. Group number 2. The light went out when we were talking. Perhaps we need to slow down and take a moment because this is an interesting situation. You were talking with someone and when I said licking your wounds, I don't know if that was the right word because the Queen of Wands isn't just about that. The Queen of Wands is really being able to nurture action in others. So this might be something where, you really did accomplish something big here. It wasn't just something negative. It was something that required a lot of thinking about it afterwards, but it doesn't necessarily have to have been a bad situation. It was just one that involved people and took a lot and was a fast-moving situation and one that needed to be continually thought about afterwards. It was a continuation of thinking about it. So that's interesting. And there's something to do with this Page of Wands being one where you're kind of surveying what to do next. But you are confident. I mean, you've been confident this entire time. That's something I think needed to be addressed here. There's confidence in what you've been handling. Yeah, that needed like a second look for sure. Because I was going off into like talking about a situation that might have been not as positive as what it could have been here. This is not negative or positive. It could have gone in two different directions, not just one. Okay. Could have gone in three directions. Could have been neutral. There we go. 3 of Cups. And here we go. So where did the mind take you next? I mean, you're fast-paced, talkative mind. You're communicating with people. This is very quickly moving. What's going on now? Sun. Well, there we go. We were talking about it. It seemed like it was like negative. No, this is moving forward towards a positive light. The sun is the happiest card in tarot. It's the warmth within. Look at this card. It's beautiful. It's the warmth within. It's that sensation of abundance, knowing that you can provide to yourself and others, that glowing warmth of presence. That is the sun. So you're talking with others was not just for them to give you advice, but it was for you to give them advice as well. There was a communal or you know, a social gathering feeling where you're all together. There's a togetherness there. Okay. And then the emperor in the mind, or in the heart, I mean, the emperor in the heart. So you had strong conviction. This is going back a diagonal downwards. We have this very strong conviction of a thought or an idea or of an action, something that you can speak to. And that's led you to feel strong conviction in just emotional balance, the way you feel about a situation. You feel strongly about it, but you feel you're correct because we have command domain over our emotions here. This is a very good place to be. We have this masculine energy of emotions, one where we're in charge. We're in charge of our emotions. Meanwhile, on the mind is abundance, is of happiness, is of clarity. There's so much light coming into this situation. And you, what's going on with you in this situation? Temperance. Wow, look at these cards. Wow, group number 2. I mean, you wanted healing. Look at this. There's something that happened in the past that did kind of cause a lot of turmoil. I mean, it could have been positive, where it was just a lot of stuff that needed to get done. It could have been a situation where you needed to address a problem. But what's happening now is one where you're in charge here. Wow, you're in charge here. You have the emperor in your heart, you have the sun on your mind, and you are embodying, or you are the temperance card. So the temperance card right now is one of transformation upwards. It's upward elevation. It's one of elevation. You can see the angel here is moving water from one chalice to another and one cup to another, and it's going down but then coming right back up, and it's actually higher than it was before. It's actually a nice reminder the way the water flows. I never thought about this before, but it's not like everything is linear. Things aren't just a straight line. You don't just get better and better and better. You start at one place, and sometimes you have to take a few steps back. Some things have to get a little messy before they can be better. When you're taking something apart to fix it, it oftentimes is going to look worse than it was before. Or if you're cleaning your room, it oftentimes starts to look messier than it did before. But then you start to organize what was messy, and then you clean it up, and it becomes much more organized. That's the kind of energy of temperance. It takes care. It takes patience, and it takes a real focused vision of how we're going to improve. But look at this. You have the emperor in the heart, you have the sun on the mind, and you are temperance. This is some beautiful stuff here. This is some beautiful stuff. We're working you have some high level energy here, group number 2. Who are you? Love to let us know in the comments what it is you're working on right now, because you have so much going for you. You have so much going for you. And that's beautiful. All right, so where does this lead us? Where do we go in the future? I want to move this light down. I want to see if we get a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Some of the colors. Oh. Okay, we're picking up some of the colors of the temperance card. There we go. We get some of it. These are a beautiful deck. I just love the way it shimmers. Okay. It just wasn't picking up the colors at first, so. Okay, so in the future, what goes on? What's happening in the mind in the future? We've moved from the sun, and now we have the moon. Interesting. So a little bit of uncertainty now. So we've moved on. I feel like this is just a sign that you're accomplishing what you need to, and you're about to take your steps forward into a new path or a new venture, a new project, something else that you want to work towards, because we have this uncertainty here. And uncertainty comes with new projects, new ideas. In the heart, we have the hermit. So finding that inner light, finding that wisdom, it could be through solitude, but it could also be through just being present with yourself. Maybe like spending a little bit of time in your room alone just to breathe, to calm down, or to meditate. It could also be just spending some time with yourself in general in nature, something to do with finding that inner wisdom. There's some more wisdom that you're looking for. I wouldn't be surprised if the high priestess comes out, because these together feel like a high priestess energy where there's this uncertainty, but it's a move towards wisdom. It's a move towards some form of understanding or knowledge. So there is some movement and there is a growth here. And this is one where you're taking on new challenges, a new project, a new relationship. There's something new here with the moon. Wow, strength card. And you're strong. Wow, look at these cards. Group number 2. We have like it's all major arcanas coming in the future. We have the sun, the moon, temperance, strength, hermit, emperor, really strong energies, really big energies here. This is incredible. Group number 2, you are just like whatever it is that, and you had the world in the past, whatever it is that you're going through or like had been going through, you're really someone who is taking full advantage of every aspect of it. You know, you really are someone who's truly engaged with the situations. You're working hard. You're finding ways to build up with whatever situation you're being given. You're someone who turns lemons into lemonade. Like you really take a situation that might not be ideal and you make it ideal because you're strong and you know that every opportunity that you face is one that you can grow, one that you can transform. You really are a strong-willed person. Group number 2, please let us know what it is that you're working on, because I'd love to, or what it is that you're thinking about, because you really are someone who's coming into your own, coming into a real strong perspective of a given situation. So where does that go from here? Where does that lead us now? What was this perspective? It had something to do with friends and groups. It had something to do with where you want to go with a situation, who you want to be with. And it also had something to do with who you choose to talk to. Like there's a lot of talking with certain people, but this is going to lead you to maybe create a group of some form, but you yourself are transforming on your own right now. I don't want to say form a group. I don't know what that's about, but okay. So finally, what happens next? We have the uncertainty leading to, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So the uncertainty leading to a new form of energy, a new form of producing energy, a new source in your mind. You're realizing there's a new way to make money or to take time or to have time or attention. There's a new way to create this resource for yourself. That's beautiful. Within we have a happily ever after card. Look at this. We have the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups coming in with what was once like solitude. Maybe you're spending a little bit of time alone, although you've been talking to people, like then you kind of go off on your own for a little bit. You're very strong. But what that leads to is group dynamics are coming back into play. We have the 10 of Cups. So group are like family, friends, happily ever after moments, those just joyful moments when you're with people and you just feel connected and really happy and really just in the moment, just a great place. And that's embodied within you in the future. That is coming to you in the future. You're getting this feeling. You're getting this connection with people. This is something that's happening to you. This is beautiful. And you're feeling it. You're feeling it within. You really feel happy here. Group number 2. Wow. And look at this, with this new resource of time maybe, or it could be money, but you're having a new idea of how to make this resource more abundant for you. As leading through command and strength upwards into new forms of energy. It's beautiful. And here we have the 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords isn't always the best card, but it's not the worst card either. The 7 of Swords has many different meanings. And one that I think I see here is you're borrowing ideas from others, but it's one where you're transforming them into your own. You know, you're a great artist kind of energy. There's just something here where you're going to find something that you can work with. And you're also laying down the swords. The swords are being removed, and what we're doing is we're working together here. So this group dynamic is really beautiful here. What we want to see is meeting up with people that bring you joy, because those people get joy from being with you, and that just creates a much more bright and warm environment where we're all together here. Beautiful. So we have one more card to reveal. It's the one that was hidden underneath the star, and we haven't seen it yet, but hopefully it will somehow add some context or some clarity to the rest of the reading. So we'll reveal it now. We have Temperance. Okay, group number 2. Wow. So we have Temperance here. The wings are moving there. It's beautiful. Can you see it? Here, let's lift the light up a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, you can see the wings are moving. So you are Temperance and you're embodied by Temperance. That is wonderful. Wow. Group number 2. You're healing. You're strong. Who are you? This is great. This is great. Wow. 2 Temperance. That your middle you right now are Temperance. So what we're talking about here is transformation. Really talking about being strong and understanding and having the vision of who you want to be as a huge aspect to yourself. You really are finding it and moving forward with it. And look at these amazing cards happening in the future. You got some brilliant times coming ahead. And it's going to be great. You just have to be focused on growing yourself, focused on yourself, and making sure that you're doing your best that you can, and you're strong-willed and you're patient. Okay. Group number 2, this has been your reading. If you like, feel free to watch group number 3, because each reading can oftentimes associate with different aspects of life. And if you want, leave a comment to tell us how you're doing and what it is that you're envisioning, where you're transforming, how you're transforming. We would love to hear it. Okay, great. Take care. Hey, group number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Emperor and the Orange Calcite. Let's take a look at these crystals. Okay. This is the Orange Calcite, and you chose the Emperor card. Let's take a look at that, the animation. I love these animations. Let us know what you think in the comments. That's a fun one. Okay, so we also have the hidden card that will be revealed at the end. Great. Let's get started. How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. We're going to start to the left and move to the right. So we're going to start in the past, move to the present, and then the future. Great. So what was on the mind in the past was sleepless nights. You were thinking a lot, overthinking in many ways, thinking over and over again about something. There is something here that was taking a lot of your attention, and it was something that was taking a lot of your resources. You needed help with something that couldn't just get fixed by yourself. You had something here that needed to be fixed or needed some aid from others. Aid from others was important. But within, you were feeling confident. So this might not have been necessarily a huge problem, or it could have been a problem that you felt confident that you could solve. I'm going to move the lights here. Confident that you could solve. Okay. But it was something that was keeping your resources, your attention, and it was keeping you up in some ways. It's one of those things where it could be a 2 different path. With one, it could be something that was a problem that you need to face, that you know you're going to need to address in the future. Or it could have also been an opportunity that you didn't want to miss out on, and that was what was keeping you up. So it could be one or the other. You, on the other hand, were a wellspring of ideas. This is an oracle card. It's the well. So you were very creative during this time, very creative. So this was a positive aspect time. This was a time of frenetic energy, something where you were creating and creating and creating. You might be an artist where you were, because, you know, the King of Wands is a creative leader, someone who knows how to work with what's available to them. There's somebody who will look at the resources they have and say, we can solve the problem with what we have. They're also very charismatic. They're someone who says, hey, look, we might not have everything we think we need, but we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through. They're kind of the MacGyver. They're tricky. They're also entrepreneurial. They find ways to work they create opportunities where none existed before. So like MacGyver is like that television show where the person would just have like a stick of gum or something and they'd be able to solve the problem with what they had. Okay. So, where does this lead? Where does this lead to? This is an interesting time. There was a lot going on, a lot of high energy in the mind, kind of wakefulness, just a lot of frenetic energy here. There was a wellspring of ideas, and then there was a creative internal drive, a very creative internal drive. So this could have been you just started a new project. You had just come up with an idea of what you wanted to do. Maybe you had a new idea for a job. Maybe you're doing freelance and you have like something that you want to start. Or maybe you wanted to start schooling of some sort. You wanted to learn something new. But it was something where you were creative in the process, very creative. Okay, so the mind, so we had the 9 of Swords here. So what did that lead to? All this thinking, overthinking, not sleeping, not resting really. There's no restful energy, just constantly thinking about this thing. What did that lead to? Led to rebirth, led to death. We have the transformation here. So whatever it is, this might have been a 5 or 10 of Swords energy, where it's the end of an idea. It's an end of a way of thinking, but it's a transformation. There isn't just something ending, there's something new beginning. Remember with the Death card, in a more traditional design, the sun is rising in the distance. Here we go. This is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. The sun is rising in the distance, and that you can see that a new day is just starting. So there's an end, but there's also a new beginning. So there's a new beginning on the mind. What is that? What kind of new thoughts were happening after you had this kind of can't stop, like it's like a locomotive or a train that just is like kept going. It just keeps going. I want to say like, I don't know why I think train, but it's just like, you're moving fast and frenetically. And then there's this huge transformation here. What's going on inside when this is happening? Well, we have stability. We have 10 of Pentacles. It's interesting. We've moved from King of Wands energy to really in the heart, like a sense of like a fulfillment. There's a fulfillment here. So maybe you were thinking through a problem. You were thinking through a really complicated problem, and you were trying to get a creative answer to it. And maybe this was the eureka moment. Let's see. What were you doing in this moment? Oh, you still had a choice to make. Okay. Perhaps this isn't a eureka moment. Perhaps you were kind of posed with 2 choices. And it's tough because we have the 2 of Swords here. It's a tough choice. It's a difficult choice. Okay. Interesting. So maybe you were kind of whittling down what it is you needed to do, and you came to the conclusion that it was one or the other. It's like this or that. We're going with this path or that path. And the idea of like all the different options that you were thinking about transformed into a very clear choice. There's a choice between 2 options here. I mean, it might not be 2 options, but it was clear that you had to make a choice. In your heart, you felt like you had everything you needed. And it's not surprising we've moved from the King of Wands to the 10 of Pentacles. So the King of Wands, someone who doesn't have much but knows they can accomplish or get to where they need to go with what they have. That will lead to a feeling of 10 of Pentacles, of feeling that you have everything you need. This transformation card is going to be interesting. I'm interested to see what happens here in the present moment. Presently, what's going on here? Let's take a look. And 3. Okay. So this chaotic, frenetic energy, this constant like thoughts, thinking like, oh God, thoughts are on overdrive, leading to like a transformational moment where a choice needs to be made. What is that choice? Well, we still have that choice here. Okay. Man, this is a lot of choices. Now there's this realization of what to weigh. You're actually weighing the pros and cons of the choices. So here we're blindly not sure what to do. But here you're someone who's actually going to slow down and actually take your moments. This could be what the transformation is. You go from fast to slow, perhaps. Let's see. Well, we have the Knight of Pentacles, which oftentimes would be a fast-paced card, but in this deck is more of a defensive stance card, a protecting card. So it's less of a movement and more of a move to protect. So you're moving to protect your choice that you want. You haven't made up your mind yet. You're not sure what to do. It feels like a should I stay or should I go energy. Should I stay or should, you know the song? But it's like that. It's like that, should you stay or should you go? This is really interesting. You know, your ability to be entrepreneurial in your heart and your creative drive has led you to have these choices. You have these opportunities to choose because of your creativeness. You're like intuitively able to be, your ingenuity, you know, the sense of creating something out of nothing, or of thinking through processes and coming up with out of the box solutions, coming up with out of the box ideas. That's led you to have these choices, but it's taken a toll on you. You know, you have this like uncertainty here in the past that's led to you really having to think through everything. There's that uncertainty. What's going on with you right now? How are you feeling with this? A new idea. Wow. Okay. Well, we have lots to do here. You know, you have a new idea coming through. You know you have to make a choice, but there's this new sense to you where you feel like you want to hold on to this new idea of yours. And this is a good energy. It's a new form. It's a new pathway. Really, it's giving birth to a new pathway. But what is that pathway, and what are the two choices that are being made? Are they the same two choices that you had to make in the past? Have you been delaying making a decision? This transformation from this to that feels like there's more to it than that. It's more than just overthinking, and then having to whittle it down to two choices. It's facing some kind of uncertainty and approaching it in a way that's new to you. You're approaching it very new, like the sword's moving up to this decision. Perhaps you're approaching what you want to do in the future with a little bit more step by step. Or perhaps what it is there's one chance or one opportunity that you're kind of trading for another. Perhaps this was a choice between two options and you took one option out, but you replaced it with another one. But you're still holding one option available. There's still that one that you're holding on to. It's almost like, I don't know, it's like you didn't want to make the choice between two, so you decided to choose no to one, but just added another one in. It's like you don't want to make the choice. You don't want to make the decision. It's like you're protecting your options. You're protecting your ability to choose. But you're going to have to make a choice, right? Or will you? What is this decision? What is it? You know, you chose the Emperor with the orange citrine, or not citrine, orange calcite. So it could be some fiery, like you want to feel stronger about a specific choice. You want to feel like this is the right one, you know, but it seems like each choice has its pros and cons. You're weighing them out, like with the Two of Pentacles. It's like back and forth. They're both kind of like, one's better than the other, but it's like, are they? Is one better than the other? You're not sure. There's something holding you back. Actually, I'm going to shuffle. Okay. Let's keep shuffling. I don't know. There's something here. What are those choices? Perhaps it will be clarified with this card. What is the choices about? All right. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords to the Death card to the Two of Pentacles, leading to the Three of Wands. So there is going to be something let go of, because the Three of Wands is one of allowing something to flow by, allowing someone to sail off. Something has to be let go, okay? In the heart, what are we feeling? Well, that's interesting. We're feeling good about this. This is we went from 10 of Pentacles transferring through the Knight of Pentacles into the 10 of Cups, which is a happily ever after. It's a really settling in feeling, really settling into a choice, settling into an opportunity, or settling into a lifestyle, being with the friends and family, feeling connected, and really having an emotional, safe space in this place. So whatever's going on here, this letting go, is allowing you to move towards a calmer experience, one where you're assured and you're confident in the love that you're receiving from your friends and family, or from the loved one. Your romantic interest, it could be. It's whatever it is that, whatever those connections are that you have in your life, you're really settling into feeling them and being present with them. So what is that going on? So what's going on with you then? Oh, you're healing. Okay, no wonder we're getting this kind of flowing, we're getting a soothing energy here. Well, that's great to see. We have the Star card. You are a healer too. This might be one of those moments where you're healing others as you heal yourself. You're connected with some, but you're not just healing yourself, you are healing with other people. It's a communal effort. It's a group effort. You're healing alongside others. You're allowing some things to be let go of, and you're returning to something that is really peaceful, and one where it's calm enough that you can let go of these frenetic ideas, these constant overthinking, obsession ideas, and you can let go and start to heal. The Star card's a beautiful card. Let's take another look at it. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, the flowing waters, the healing energy. You might want to see group number 2, because that was the Star card. Group number 2 was the Star. I'll bring that back up to show you. Here's the group number 2s. You can see maybe you can see the animation a little bit, the water ripples, and the stars twinkle. So there's this slowing down. There's this kind of forgiveness too, like forgiving oneself. You're forgiving yourself for waiting so long to let go, waiting so long to choose a path. It's okay. You needed that time for that these ideas needed to be part of you for a certain amount of time. They had to be you had to be connected to the choice, to the uncertainty for whatever reason. And now we're going to allow some of these options to float on by. We'll draw 3 more. Okay, so, there's a lot of pent-up energy here. It's moving towards like a single stream, which is nice, because it was like a lot of different streams. And then we have this kind of singularity here, this moment here that leads to one stream, because we're allowing that stream, that other path, to float on by. The 3 of Wands can mean a few different things for different people. So if this is relationships, it could be letting go of a relationship and saying goodbye. It could be accepting that one relationship isn't going to work out when there's multiple ones, in this case, with all these different choices. But it could also be one of,
if this is within the work environment, it could be letting go of a project, allowing others to take a little bit more of the slack, a little bit more of the work, allowing others, and sometimes it could just be in life, allowing somebody to help you, allowing somebody to just take up some of the work that needs to be done in the house, in just normal stuff. It could be someone just saying, hey, like, I'll drive you somewhere. You don't need to drive right now. I'll drive you. You seem like stuff like that. There's this someone else is going to help out. There's more people are going to lift up and keep moving forward with the project. Or it could be someone's just helping you out. Or it could be you're letting go of this path, this choice. But letting go is going to be a very important part of this healing process. We're going to draw two more. As above, so below. Okay, so you're letting go, and there's starting a new emotional beginning here, something that's on the mind. There's a source of new emotional strength, new emotional healing. The flowing waters of the chalice, of the cups, is coming in. There's a new ace. We have two beginnings here, a new thought process and a new emotional start, which is beautiful. It's in a relationship-oriented spot because it's in the communication, in the spirit, in the thoughts. So this is emotional new beginning within a relationship kind of dynamic, a relationship's like aspect to this. And in your heart, you're going to feel very strong in your decision making. We have the Queen of Swords. It's great to see the Queen of Swords here. Intuitive decision making, strong intuitive decision making. You're going to feel confident in your choice, in your having allowed things to move on. You're going to feel very good about it. This is a great card to see here. And finally, we have what's going on with you. You're a healer. You are healing other people too. By letting go, you're putting yourself in the position to heal others' issues, or not issues, but heal others' situations in a way that allows them to move on in new emotional beginnings as well. And here we have the Eight of Wands. This is kind of fun. This is interesting. I see this almost like you're kind of, on your horse, like, going away into the sunset, almost like, like the hero walks away into the sunset or is on their horse moving away into the sunset. You're letting go and you're allowing what you've done, which was the right choice, to really heal the relationship or the situation. And now you're moving on to new things and you're feeling very confident. You have a new emotional start. You're moving fast, quickly away. It's like it's this sun setting on one thing and a new beginning soon after. This is beautiful. This is a very, you've culminated, or you've come, it's all come together in a way that's really beautiful because you have become the healer in this situation. It was one where you had an idea and you weren't sure what to do, but you realized the best thing is to help others too, to heal while healing. And now you're going to move on. This is a true moving on moment, one where you intuitively know you made the right choice, you're doing it well, and everyone's going to be really, it's really a situation where everyone involved benefits greatly from the decisions you make, because you make them with their best interest in mind as well. Okay, group number 3. We have the hidden card that will hopefully apply clarity to these choices that had to be made, and also where we're healing, what it is that we're healing. And then we'll say goodbye. But first, let's take a look at this card. It is the sun. Oh, it's beautiful to see. The sun. Look at that. Oh, the sun looks awesome. The rays shimmering. So this is a card of abundance. This is a card of warmth. This is a reminder that we all can have that internal light in us. And what we can do with it is help each other through providing abundance to others as well as ourselves. In this way, we are warming each other up. We're providing that warmth to each other, and we're creating a space where we're all really benefiting from each other's presence. We're basking in each other's glow. And look, you chose the Emperor. You wanted this fiery energy. Well, look at that. You get the warmth here of the sun. You get the cooling healing of the star. What a beautiful reading. And the cooling healing of Ace of Cups, the new ideas coming in, the choices being made to let go and allow things to flow down the stream. This is a beautiful reading. You're going to be walking away from this situation knowing you made the right choice. Group number 3, this has been your reading. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment and let us know how you're doing. And if you'd like, feel free to subscribe. It greatly helps this channel grow. Okay, thank you so much. See you later.